Hello everyone, I am not in Bristol today. I've come down to Essex to visit my family, so today's video is just going to be me in the beach hut reading. I came down to Essex and my parents have wanted a beach hut for so long and they hadn't told me anything, and they said, Hannah, we've bought a beach hut. I was like, what? And they hadn't told me at all, and they've decorated it so beautifully. It's so lovely. So there's the beach out there. You can take this panel here, you can take it down, but I'm quite antisocial. I like the little barrier. I love the door. I think it's beautiful, and my mum made these gorgeous cushions which are on it, beautiful patterns. I'm gonna show you what I'm reading in a minute. I love this rug as well. I think they've done it like so nicely, and they've wanted a beach hut for so long, so they've been like planning it, and I think it's gorgeous. There's a little kitchen area there as well. So I came here this morning to see it, to see the surprise beach hut. I've been around seeing family, I saw my granddad and everything, and then I was like, can I come to the beach hut by myself? So antisocial, what a snake. And my parents were like, oh, okay, if you want, because I just wanted like an hour by myself to like read and be here. And I just like, when I find something I like my own little company in it, because I'm just a rat. Does anyone else do that? You like to have like a little bit of time by yourself to kind of like relish it and do what you want to do. So I'm just here reading. I am sickeningly hot. So red, so hot, so I'm sitting a little bit far back in the beach hut. I'll show you my view though. So nice, and that flaps up that window. So I flapped that up, opened the door, and just leaving that open. There's lovely little steps, and the tide's out, and it looks so nice. The beach is pretty packed today because it's so hot. So I'm going to show you the books that I have brought with me to read. I have brought just 2 books with me. I have Diana. This is Diana, Her True Story by Andrew Morton. And this was a book that came out when Diana was still alive. She was still married to Charles at the time as well. That was her husband in the royal family. She was still married to him. She hadn't got divorced to him. She hadn't died yet. And Andrew was writing a book about her. So when it came out, it was really sensational because he had spoke to her friends and family, and people were like, oh wow, he's got some real insider knowledge. How did he know this about her? And then years later, it was actually released that Diana herself collaborated on this book. And how it happened is Diana and Andrew had a mutual friend, and Diana wanted to tell everyone she was in this terrible relationship because Charles, who's a member of the royal family, was cheating on her with Camilla, who is now married to. Disgusting. And she was desperately unhappy, and she couldn't get her voice out in any kind of way, so the royal family would have never let her sit down with Andrew to do an interview. So they had a mutual friend, and Andrew would give the mutual friend questions. The mutual friend would go to Diana, bring a dictaphone with him and ask her the questions, and she would talk into the dictaphone. It's like some spy stuff, and then it would be sent back to Andrew, and Andrew put it in the book. And those tapes have actually now been released. I don't think Diana wanted those tapes to ever be released. She just wanted Andrew to do something with them to give her a voice. But those tapes have been released. There's a big documentary on it. It's very fascinating. So I'm interested in that story because that's her actual story. That's the closest I think we're going to get to how she actually felt. So I'm going to try that. I am then going to give a go to The Amityville Horror Part 2. I read Part 1 and I thought it was okay. I wasn't like overly impressed with it. I thought it was alright, but I'm going to try Part 2. If you don't know the story of The Amityville Horror, it is kind of based on a true story. So this book says, based on true life experiences. And it kind of is and it kind of isn't. So there was a house in Amityville, the true story is, there was a house in Amityville, really normal family, mum, dad, then they had a teenage son, and they had 2 boys and 2 girls, and in the dead of night, the teenage boy just decided he was going to kill them all. He was going to kill his 2 brothers, his 2 sisters, and his 2 parents with a shotgun, and he massacred them all. The weird thing about that is that they were all in the same position when he killed them, and they were all asleep. Now if you shoot someone with a shotgun, it makes a lot of noise, so you would get up, you would do something, but none of them did anything. They were all in the exact same position and none of them got up at all. So people think that there's something weird about that, which there definitely is. And the boy said the reason he did it is he had voices in his head. He is in prison, still in prison now for this crime, and this is a true life crime that happened. I think he drugged them, to be honest with you. I think he drugged them and he posed them so they were all in the same sleeping position, and then he shot them with a shotgun. That's what I think. I don't think there was any supernatural forces at work. I don't think there was a possession or anything. Then that house, because a family massacre had happened in it, no one wanted to touch it. It was very cheap. So a family called the Lux family moved into the house. And they said when they moved into the house, they had these hauntings and they became possessed. And then, guess what they did? They sold their story. And this book is copyrighted to the Lux family. They sold their story and they said they had this big haunting. So the Amityville, the first book, is about the Lux family moving into this house where this massacre's been and they're being haunted and it's terrible and we should all feel sorry for them. This book is the Lux family have moved to a different home and the spirit is still following them. So this book isn't like true in any kind of account. I don't think the Lux family were experiencing anything. If they were, it might have been their mind playing tricks on them because they'd moved into a house where a massacre was, or they wanted some cash because this book is copyrighted to them and they are making some kind of money off it. So that is the trueness of the Amityville horror. I think it's a little bit disrespectful, the first Amityville horror, because they used the names of the people who did actually die in the original massacre, and I feel like they could have used different names, but that's just my personal thing. At the beginning of this book, they have an introduction into the original murder massacre, what actually happened, but then they go into what he said and they're like, maybe it's true, maybe he was possessed, and it's all a bit like, I think he just wanted the inheritance. I think that's why he dragged them, posed them and came up with this whole story in like his head when he was possessed, because he wanted the inheritance, sadly enough. So trust me, like I'm in this lovely beach hut, I'm like, let's talk about murder, guys. So I'm going to try both those books. I'm going to read the Diana one first. This is my current look, glasses for reading and shades. Over the top, because you know, us bookworms, we gotta make do. I am really enjoying the book so far and I'm not even on page 1. So first up you have acknowledgements, and he says that the princess's friends, family and counsellors were all a part of this book, and her brother was also a part of the book, and her dad gave permission for him to rifle through all her family albums and pick out whatever pictures he wanted, because obviously secretly Diana was involved in this book as well, but when it was published no one had any idea, but she must have given her brother and dad permission to contribute to this book, so I feel like their passages are going to be her voices as well. So I'm very excited to see what her friends have to say about the whole situation as well. So I am going to start it now. This is only the beginning. I love this line. I'm on page 2. The flip side of the fairy tale. I feel like this is so true of what this book's going to be like and what Diana's life was like, because the fairy tale really is to meet a prince and become a princess, and that's exactly what happened to her, but it turned into an absolute nightmare. So the flip side of the fairy tale. Love it. I also love this Marie pen, by the way. My best friend Laura got it for me from Disneyland Paris and it's really beautiful. It's Marie from the Aristocats. Page 2, and I'm already highlighting bits. I feel like I'm gonna love it. It is now the next day. I didn't film anything else at the beach hut. We drove back and we got here about 6 PM yesterday, and then I thought, I haven't like completed my beach hut footage because I filmed nothing else than what you just saw. So I thought, why don't I just film a video now? It doesn't get dark here to about 9 PM, 10 PM, which is perfect for making my videos every day because I can film them, you know, at any time during the day, which is really cool. So I'm just going to kind of chat to you about what happened at the beach hut. I have a slight rant and I just wanted to talk because I feel like the beach hut footage, I didn't want to get rid of it completely because I feel like I said quite a lot about books and I spoke a lot about the Amityville horror and the True Life case. I feel like I got quite a lot out. I am still reading Diana. I have a correction to make to this. This came out just after Diana had announced her divorce, but when it started the book, Diana was still with Charles. So it's kind of interesting, like the inside story of their actual divorce, and he starts off the book by saying they didn't know what date to publish it because they'd spoken to her friends and family and everyone was saying they're gonna get divorced soon and the public didn't know this, and he was saying like we had to push the publishing forward because we thought, oh, she's going to announce her divorce any month now. So it's really interesting, really enjoying this so far. I yesterday at the beach hut couldn't finish any more of the reading vlog and didn't film anything else because my family descended upon the beach hut hut, which was really nice actually, and we all just hung out there together. But I didn't want to be awkward and like whip out a camera and be like, sorry guys, one sec. You know, it's awkward. If you make videos, you know what I mean. There was some loud people at the beach hut next to us, which was a little bit annoying, because after I finished that last clip, my family came, which was really nice, and then all these people came to the beach hut. It was like their granddad's beach hut next door, and it was kind of like 20-year-olds, but like loads of them came there, and it was like, oh, like they're fine, they should be fine and everything. But they had one of those really annoying disposable campfire things, and in the last clip that you've just seen at the beach hut, you might have been able to hear the noise they were making. They were so loud, they were like swearing non-stop, and by that time the water had kind of come in a bit, so there was loads of people outside my beach hut on the floor because they were going for a swim. Sorry about the sirens. I live near a hospital, that's why there are always sirens. I don't live in a ghetto, why there's always sirens. Near a hospital, so that's why there is like ambulances and stuff quite a lot. But, so they were making loads of noise, but like whatever. And then they had those disposable, disgusting campfires that make me feel ill. I don't know if other countries have them. They're like these tin foil boxy things, and you're supposed to use them once and then you can throw them away. What a waste. But you just put them on the floor, those tiny things, and then you light them and they're all flamey, and then you just barbecue food on them. Now, people in England, I think I've said this before on the channel, last summer I remember saying this on the channel, people in England, stop barbecuing, you can't do it. Oh my god, we only have about 2 weeks in the UK where you can actually barbecue, because it's a cold country, it's a wet country. Oh, Hannah, calm down, like, we only have about 2 weeks, right, that are like really hot that you can barbecue. So people in those 2 weeks think that they live in Australia or something. So they go out in England, they buy these massive barbecues, they buy the disposable barbecues, and they try and barbecue food. But because we're not a country that's used to barbecuing food is always gross. It's always undercooked. No one knows how to do it properly because it's not culturally an English thing, because we're not a hot country. I hate being invited to barbecues because I know the food's going to be gross. If it's a vegetarian barbecue, 100% I'm there, grilled halloumi in my face, loving it. But if it's meat, oh, not in a million years. When people do chicken and they don't cook chicken properly and it's pink inside and you're like, oh my god, no, don't even eat it. They're like, I'm sure it'll be fine. Next day you phone them, Carol's ill in bed, she can't get up. Like, oh my god. I feel like I'm ranting, but I don't understand them. So anyway, so there were loads of people outside the beach hut and everything, and they had this disposable barbecue thing, and the amount of smoke these things fly off are unbelievable because it's a fire. So the smoke just started filling the beach, billowing over the beach, and I looked out the window and it was just a sea of fog. It was like from that Stephen King film, The Fog, like just fog everywhere coming from their little disposable thing. People started leaving the beach, like your eyes start to sting because there's so much smoke, and it's so antisocial. And sitting out there, I'm not even joking, it's like a metre away from me, their thing, just in my face all the time. And this is such a thing people do in Bristol as well. People do it on Southend Seafront, which is where I was, or they do it in Bristol parks. So in parks in Bristol, everyone's really packed into the park, there's loads of people, everyone's sitting down having a great time. And then you'll see someone arrive and I'll look over and think, oh no. And they'll get out one of those disposable like barbecue things, and they're literally like 2 feet away from you. And you just think, like, what do you think that's going to do? That's going to obviously billow smoke over everyone here, all over me. My clothes are going to smell, my eyes are going to be stinging, and you just see them lighting it. And then the smoke gets a bit out of control and they realise, oh my god, this is really antisocial. So they start fanning it. They started fanning the barbecue yesterday. Oh my god, don't shout, but like, woo, they started fanning it. And I was thinking, what are you doing? That's causing more of a fire by you just standing there fanning it with a bit of cardboard. Like, what do you think the fire brigade do? When it's like, oh, a local house is on fire. Oh, they bring out the big fans. No, they get something to put over it, like water or something. Put some water over it, for God's sake. Like, I don't expect you to have a fire extinguisher on hand, okay? Water, you've got plenty, just pour it over and put it out a little bit. And the food's never cooked on one of these because they can never quite get hot enough. They're either like burning flames of hell or like smoke smouldering, nothing's gonna cook on it. You know, it's either burnt or undercooked. That is a UK barbecue. Ugh. So yesterday this like smoke was going all over the place, which was really unpleasant, and they started fanning it and even more smoke was going all over the place. I literally felt like saying, why don't you just light a fire? why don't you just light a fire in front of us? Especially when people do it in parks in Bristol, and then they leave all like mess around, like all the bits of like, it's got like coal in it or something in it, isn't it? Charcoal is it? It's got in it, and they leave it all on the ground, and you just think that's not very nice for the animals, is it? And also, when in Bristol someone's 2 feet away from you with a disgusting fire, I want to say, why don't you just do an actual fire? Instead of just doing this barbecue thing and say I'm cooking food, why don't you just get a few twigs, chop down a tree while you're at it, and do a bloody bonfire? Why don't you get, while you're at it, what will be just as pleasant as what you're going to do right there? Why don't you get a car tyre and burn it? Because that's the same thing to me. It really is, because it smells, the smoke's everywhere, it's hurting your eyes, it's unpleasant, and then it goes on for hours because people don't know how to barbecue in the UK. It goes on and on and on. In other countries you might think, oh, what are you talking about? Like, they just cook the food, take it off, and that's it. We don't know how to barbecue. This is like a 3-hour endeavour of someone trying to get it to work, and then someone else trying to, and then the fanning, oh no, it's got out of control, and oh dear. It goes on and it goes on, and people never buy enough food for a barbecue, so it's like, oh Dave, go out, get some more sausage rolls, we'll keep it alive. And you just think, oh, don't, like, cook it at home, bring it out, do vegetarian stuff. Why do meat on something like that? And also, why, oh, I'm gonna stop because I'm being unpleasant, I know, but I can't stand barbecues in the UK. I can't stand those disposable barbecues because they leave such a mess around, which I think is terrible for the environment. I think why they leave a mess is because people start poking at them, and then they leave bits of charcoal out, and I think it's awful. I can't stand the smoke they bring off. People aren't even enjoying it because they're not cooking the food properly. Oh, it winds me up so much. And when you go around someone's house, they're like, I'm having a barbecue, and you go around and you give them pink chicken, and you just have to like put it in your bag. I was like, so I'm like, I'm not getting ill. I'm not getting ill. Just put it in your bag and get away from it. Oh God, I honestly can't stand it. But yeah, that was my that was my yesterday. Just having a bit of coffee here. I like my coffee really dark. I'm into quite like creamy coffees as well, but I really like dark, bitter coffee. I don't know why. I am enjoying a pink wafer. I brought these over to show you. These are so cute. They are Pink Panther's pink wafers, and they are so cute. Like, look at the packaging, how cute, with Pink Panther. I remember when I used to go around my great grandma's, and she always had these, and I just think they were like the most special thing in the world. I'll show you them. So they're just wafer, like sandwiched together with like vanilla, I don't even know what. And there's like no artificial colourings, but they somehow get them pink, obviously with like a natural vegetable dye or something. So I'm going to enjoy one of them. I'm going to obviously like edit this video, work out what other videos I want to film for the rest of the month and everything. Thank you so much to everyone who's been watching my videos and enjoying and engaging with me, commenting and liking, because if you comment and like on videos on YouTube, if you engage with them, it helps the algorithms, and it helps whatever it is, but it definitely helps, because if people just watch and they don't comment or like, YouTube's like, oh, they obviously didn't like that because they didn't engage with it, which I'd be like, obviously they did like it because they watched it, they didn't dislike it or anything. But anyway, that's just how YouTube is working. Ooh, yesterday, right, this is exciting news. It's not that exciting, but yesterday I was at my parents' house and I was digging through, my mum's got all these vintage like knitting books because she knits, and she had this vintage children's knitting book. It was from the 70s, and the toys in it was like something like, you know, Hell's Angels. Like, they were weird toys that you just look at and think, that looks quite frightening. And I am knitting an elf. I'll put up a picture of it. And I saw this picture. It was in a 70s book, and I was like, oh my God, it looks demonic. It's black, soulless eyes. It's weird shaped, pointed ears. Everything about it looks like a creep, and I love anything that looks a bit creepy, a bit Halloweeny. So I'm actually going to be knitting this Christmas elf for Halloween. I am going to knit it as soon as I get the wool. I've got to get some emerald green wool, which I'm going to a wool shop. Right, oh, I might actually go to that now. Ooh, St. Nick's Market, that's quite near me. They have a little wool shop in there, so I might actually get that from there, or I'll go to Hobbycraft. I need to get some pale pink for the face. Although I might do it like a ghostly white, the face, because with the black eyes and like the white face, I think that might be quite nice. And then I need to get emerald green. I have never knitted anything as ambitious as that. Never knitted a toy. I just knit scarves and blankets. So it's going to be quite an exciting little project. And then when I've done that one, I might do it in like different colours, like what was I think, orange and black, so it's more Halloween-y. I thought that'd quite be nice. But I'm going to end the video here before I babble on, and I'm going to see you tomorrow anyway. So comment down below so we can chat, hang out in the comments. That has been my favourite part of this whole thing, is when people talk to me in the comments on the YouTube videos and we actually get to chat back and forth. I really enjoy that. So leave a comment down below and I will see you tomorrow for another video.